What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? My computer tripping. This is going to be your love and no, it's not. It's your Married to Medicine LA season 1 episode 2. So look, this is technically episode number 2 because last week they sort of did that crossover episode, but this episode we got to get to know the ladies a little bit more that are going to be on the show, and we got a little bit more of their backstory. We know that we have Dr. Britton, who is Contessa's best friend. Her husband and kids are actually out during this episode, and they said, hey, they've done the long distance thing. They met while she was in the military and was deployed, and they did the long distance thing. She said that part of the reason why she moved to LA was more opportunities in her field. She said in Florida, it was just a very stagnant way of doing things. There wasn't really a lot of variation. She's an anesthesiologist, but she said in LA, she has more opportunities. Now, it's said that her husband is a real estate developer, and at this point, he's full-time dad. She's in LA, and it looks like this takes place during the summer because the kids are there, her husband's there, but the kids are in camp, and she talks about them getting ready to go back to school pretty soon. So that's what we kind of get that. If we get that with Britton, a little bit more of her story, Dr. Britton. Then we meet Dr. Reed and Asha, our best friends. They've known each other since elementary school. Dr. Reed was actually a dancer who was a professional dancer or pursued being a professional dancer and then decided to go to law school. She probably always wanted to go to law school. Like, nobody just says, oh, I'm going to go to law school. But maybe she wanted to, try her hand at being a dancer or what have you. And, you know how that goes. So that's what they did. And they're actually really good friends. And like I said, they've known each other forever. And they seem to have a really good relationship. We didn't meet. And if we did, forgive me, y'all. I don't think we met a significant other of Dr. Reed. Yeah, I don't think we did. And if we did, like I said, forgive me because I missed it. But Asha, we see her and her husband. Asha wants to have a baby. She's 39. She's ready to have a baby. We saw last week when she had a conversation with Dr. Simone about, that after 35 it's considered a geriatric pregnancy. And that word geriatric is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When somebody starts throwing geriatric, you have a whole certain mindset of what geriatric is. But for women after 35, it's considered to be a geriatric pregnancy. But like Dr. Reed said, Simone was sort of giving her worst case scenario. She said, it doesn't mean that you can't be successful. I mean, have a successful pregnancy just because you're doing it late in life. Yes, there are certain things that will be a higher risk, but it doesn't mean that your child won't get it together. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say get it together. Y'all know what I'm saying, that you won't be able to have a successful pregnancy. But her husband, who is, he a doctor. I ain't even gonna try to go down that road, but he starts talking about finances and wanting to make sure that they're financially in a good place and that they haven't spent too much. He has his own practice and that kind of thing. And she said, for me, I just feel like that's the excuse because he's scared, And what I have found, my mother told me once upon a time, I remember. We were talking about marriage and babies and stuff like that. And my mother was like, there is no good time. You know what I mean? Like, nothing's ever going to be perfect. So if you're waiting for perfection, if you're waiting for for it to be the perfect time to get married, like, that's never going to happen. Like, there's no perfect time, and same thing with having a baby. Like, you wait for the perfect, if you're looking for something to not be perfect, you're going to find something that's not perfect. But, and that's kind of where they are. They're at that crossroad. I don't think Larry doesn't want to have children, but I do think there's just a certain, maybe a fear of the lifestyle changing and things being different. But so we have that. Then we have we get to know a little bit more about Dr. Amani. Dr. Amani has a son, and she's married to her husband. Actually, was in the group Portrait, and I remember Portrait. You know what I mean? And he sounds like he's still in music because at one point she said he was at the studio. I don't know where he is in music now, if he's a producer, if he's, doing other things. But it sounds like he still deals with music. And they've been married. And she actually has a son by someone else. But she said that he came in and took over. I think she said they started dating when her son was 22 months. And he just never looked back. It was just, he jumped right into dad mode, and it was boom. And they seem to have a really good relationship. Now, looks like what's going to be some friction between the two of them might be Dr. Amani, her dad, growing up, her dad was a drug addict, and that caused some absenteeism on his part. But she actually wants to reach back out to her dad. And her husband is like, I'm not sure about that because we don't know what we getting. You know what I mean? Like, the reason why he hasn't been around is because he had a substance abuse problem. Yes, fast forward 20 years later, maybe he's not that guy anymore, but we don't know. And he sounds like he's very cautious about her inviting this man into their life. And I don't know enough about him to know whether it's a controlling thing or whether he has a good reason to sort of feel that way. We're only getting what they're willing to give us at this point. And there maybe there was some false starts with her and her dad in the past, and it left her hurt. And he's kind of in a protective mode about her. Maybe he's had some bad experience with drug addicts. He was in the music industry, and maybe he just has a distrust for certain things. I don't know. But he kind of was like, I don't know about that. And she was like, it's my dad. Like, it's not some random dude. He was like, I don't care. Dad don't know. It was dad don't know dad. No. So, okay. So that's that. Then, we get to know a little bit more about, what's her name? I had to write it down. Shanique, and her husband, Robert. Now, she's a property manager. She says she manages over 400 residential homes. Her husband is emergency medicine doctor, Robert. We met him on last week's episode. They've known each other since undergrad, and she supported him through medical school, and they have 2 kids. And she calls herself the Jamaican Martha Stewart. She's Jamaican, Jamaican Martha Stewart. She said that that they've that they have a really good relationship. And the big event, there's always an event. The big event for this episode is her husband's 39th birthday. He loves all things Jamaican, honey, and she's having him a Jamaican-themed birthday party. But she said, even though she still works for a living, she takes care of her husband and her family. She's like old school. She gonna make sure she cook for him, clean for him, and all that good stuff. So that's their situation. Now, her little bestie is Miss Jasmine. Jasmine's husband is a doctor as well. I don't think we met Jasmine's husband this episode either. Jasmine just had a baby, and she is proud of her snapback. Jasmine is the one who Dr. Heavenly asked last week about what does she do, and she said she's a doctor's wife, and Heavenly said that's your job. That's what you do. And so Miss Jasmine we going to get Miss Jasmine. And for the party, Jasmine and Shanique, I hope that's her name. They have a photo shoot, honey, where she said her husband loves gummy bears, so they filled a tub full of gummy bears, and she got in and took some nice pictures for him. I thought it was a really cute idea. I thought it was a really, really, I thought it was cute that she would do that for him. I wasn't quite crazy about the fact that she gave it to him at the party in front of everybody. I feel like that was a private gift that probably should have been saved for later on that night when you was giving him his other birthday gift. You feel what I'm saying? And you could have been like, boo, look what I got for you, because I also feel like that's something I need to hang in the bedroom. I don't think that's something that people need to walk in and see hanging over your, in your entranceway. It was a cute picture. It was a nice gesture. I just don't necessarily think all of your party needed to see. And she wasn't naked. She had on a bathing suit and everything. But again, it was to me, it was private. It was cute, but I feel like it should have been left private. But who am I? So that's kind of, I'm trying to think, did we hit everybody? I feel like I'm missing someone. All right, I think we hit everybody. All right, so let's get to this party, y'all. So party's going down in the backyard. Looks like it's really nice. They got, all the stuff that you have when you have a little bit of money and you having yourself a blowout party. She's got the steel band. She's got the bartenders and it looks nice. It looks like a really nice soiree. Well, Dr. Heavenly is in town, honey, and Dr. Heavenly done got herself an invite to the party. And on the way over, Heavenly rides with Asha and Dr. Iman. Matter of fact, Asha actually was the one who ended up inviting Dr. Heavenly, even though Britain was how she met. But anyway, that's whatever. Who knows? You know. Now we get to the party and Larry's not there because Larry had to work. Asha's husband. Okay, that's important to remember. He had to work, so supposedly he's coming later on that night. Or he's not coming at all. No, yeah, he's not coming. Amani's cousin came. He was the one at the studio, the one they used to sing in Portrait. He's coming later on. Now Dr. Robert is enjoying his birthday party, honey. He is two-fisting it. He said, look, drink responsibly is for when you're not going to be at home, when you out in them streets. That's when you drink responsibly. He said, when you in your backyard and it's your birthday and all you got to do is walk up the steps, you drink as much as you want. He's like, you drink until you can't drink no more. I said, well, I can't say I disagree with him because I feel the same way when I'm at home. And I don't even need to get up the steps. I got a blanket right behind my couch if ever I need to just lay down. There you go. But anyway, so everybody seems to be having a good time. Dr. Britt shows up with her husband Mac, and they doing what they do. She looked real cute. Like I said, now when Heavenly showed up, Shaniqua, Lord, why do I keep Shaniqua? Y'all know who I'm talking about. She was like, she said it in Jamaican, but basically she was like, who this woman? Who invited her? How'd she get here? And I was like, ooh. But to Asha's defense, her thing was, it wasn't like I bought an extra guest because my husband was supposed to come, but he had to work. So I'm just really bringing Heavenly in place of my husband. And it's not like they haven't met Heavenly. They met Heavenly last week or whenever they had that other function. So they know who Heavenly is, you know. And Heavenly is being Heavenly, you know. She's being Heavenly on the way over there. She was fucking up people's names. And, you know, and Dr. Amani was like, look, I'm blunt and straightforward, but Dr. Heavenly take it to another. She like blunt on steroids, you know, which she is. So, you know, they get to the party. And again, like I said, everybody's having a good time. And somewhere at I guess towards the end of the party or at some point during the party, Shanique, I'm going to get her name right, y'all. She tells Asha Larry's ex-girlfriend is here. And I forget, she's a doctor, so I forget the woman's name. Dr. Jeanette, maybe. And they were like, huh? And, no, actually, Asha wasn't over there first. But, you know, Asha's bestie, Dr. Reed, was like, like, why would you invite her? Now, I'm going to give y'all my opinion in a second. I'm going to go ahead and give y'all the breakdown. Because I feel like Amani on it. I'm going to give y'all the breakdown. So, Shanique was like, well, she's really good friends with my husband. And this is my husband's party, and he invited who he wanted to invite. I'm just letting you know she's here. But I don't really feel like it's a problem that she is invited, considering that, first of all, you married to him, they old news, and it's my husband's friend, and it's my husband's party. So, Asha gets upset. And no, first, Dr. Reed gets upset because she's riding for her friend. Well, why would you invite her? I don't understand why you would invite her. If that's your friend, that's not what friends do. Then Asha comes over and they reiterate the story. So here go Dr. Heavenly. So Asha walks off. Because Amani says, look, let me talk to y'all. Before this turns into something bigger, let's go talk. And she pulls him over to the side and says, look, I love both of y'all. You know what I mean? Let's just go ahead and dead it right here and let's move on. Let's have a good time. Like, let's let this shit go. Now, while that's going on, Heavenly is over doing what Heavenly does, stirring some shit. So Heavenly gonna say, well, where is she? I'm going to go talk to her. So Heavenly gonna call her over and starts grilling the woman. Well, where did you... And Larry and her met in medical school at Howard. They both went to Howard. Shout out DC. And she was like, and it's funny. I was about to go sidebar. I had some friends that went to Howard Medical School. That's probably in their age group. I wonder if they knew each other. Sidebar. Back to this. So, I'm at the call. See, I'm back on this. See that how my ADD be working? So, Heavenly then starts saying, well, how you know Larry? Well, how long has it been since you talked to Larry? When did you and Larry break up? How long did you and Larry date? And I was like, and mind you, she answering her questions, but in my mind, I know she was thinking, if this wasn't on for TV, I would have been cussed her ass out by now. Because I promise you the only reason why she answered them questions is because that camera was in her face, okay? Because, come on, who else? Who doing that? Who is doing that? You don't know Heavenly from a hole in the wall, and you just gonna let this woman just start grilling you at a party? Some old rant. But neither here nor there. Heavenly was being, like I said, Heavenly was doing what Heavenly does. So then Heavenly said, well, I'm going to go get Asha. I think y'all need to go ahead and talk and just clear this whole thing up. It ain't no big deal. You ain't talked to him in 5 years. Y'all been married for 2 years. It's no big deal. So she goes to get Asha to bring Asha over. Now, mind you, Dr. Reed was riding for her friend Asha. Jasmine riding for her friend Shanique. So, you know, you starting to see the little divide in the water right there, right? Asha was like, I'm not going over there. I'm not doing this. She was like, I'm not. Out of respect for my husband, I'm not getting ready to turn this into a big thing. I'm not getting ready to do this. Now, here's my mindset on this whole situation. Because I'm with Dr. Monty. She says she sees both sides of it. Now, Jasmine, I kind of agree a little bit with Jasmine. Jasmine said, you know how you greet your husband's ex-wife with your left hand and you wave? I said, you know what? I don't disagree with her. Because here's the thing. Again, unless there's more to the story that we don't know, which I'm sure we're going to find out, I don't see what the problem was. I don't. If that's Robert's party, and that's Robert's friend, now, the only thing I could say is maybe she could have given her a heads up beforehand. But again, y'all been married for 2 years. The two of them have been broken up for 5 years. What's the issue? Now, in the previews, we see what the issue might possibly be. But I'll wait till next week because you know how editing can be. So it might be it might not even be what we think it is. But we're going to wait and see what it says next week. But I just feel like, I don't feel like, because Asha ended up leaving the party. I don't think it was that serious. I really don't. Because first of all, I'm not going to let nobody know I'm that bothered. Now, I might come home and call my best friend and be like, girl, and I might give it to you later. But I'm not going to sit in that party and let that woman know I'm bothered. And that woman ain't do nothing to nobody. She was minding her business. She wasn't even interacting with them. She was at the party talking to other people, having a good time. So I didn't see what the issue was. I mean, other than they trying to make it an issue, other than it's a TV show. But I see like I said, I see both sides of it. I could definitely see where Asha would feel like, as my friend, why would you invite her? I wouldn't say, as my friend, why would you invite her? I would say, as my friend, why wouldn't you give me a heads up? Because, again, you can invite her all you want. Like, I ain't tripping over you inviting her. Unless, like I said, if it was just a simple situation where she was an ex. All I'm going to say is just give me the heads up. I remember it happened one time. This didn't happen to me. It was another situation. A group of friends, my ex-boyfriend was still friends with. We were all, in college, we were all friends. And me and him had broken up. And one night, the fellas were going out. They were going partying. And my current boyfriend had become friends with my little crew. Like I said, we were all in college together. And they were all going out, and they invited him to go along. Well, at the time that they invited him to go, they didn't know that my ex-boyfriend, who they were friends with, was coming. Like, he showed up at the last minute and was like, yeah, I wasn't going to come, but I decided to roll. That was a little awkward for them. I wasn't there. I found out about it later. So I could see how that could be an awkward situation. But he was like the immediate ex and the next. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no space in between. And so I could see where that was awkward. But in this situation, man, whatever. But we're going to see how I go now. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.